those. One of the major things that I'm super excited and proud to talk about, back in May 15th is my sober anniversary. I am over
Nice.
2 years sober from alcohol and extracurriculars. I I had a lot of fun. I started partying at a really young age. I started partying, I don't know if I'm allowed to say this, but like 15, 16 years old.
Say whatever you want
Yeah,
here.
like 15, 16 years old, and was going pretty hard up until, almost 2.5 years ago.
May 14th.
Yeah, yeah, up until May 14th, pretty much. And I know that one thing that I think is important for people to know whenever you hear someone say, I'm sober, you think of recovery. And in my case, I'm not in any recovery type classes or community. It was overall a lifestyle change that I wanted to make.
Hmm.
I never felt like I was addicted to anything in particular. I just felt like uh, I was using substances as a way to escape from a lot of my problems and a lot of trauma that I endured at a really young age.
Okay.
I experienced grief and loss at a really young age as well. So just being young and navigating through a lot of those feelings and not, again, struggling very silently, because I've always been seen as a very happy figure and a very happy-go-lucky type person.
Oh,
But a lot of people didn't know how bad I was struggling for a really long time.
it's the way it goes a lot of the time.
Usually it does, the happiest people, you never
Yeah.
know that they have a lot of demons that they're fighting. And, I struggled very silently for pretty much 2 decades with my mental health. And my sophomore year of college, it was bad to a point where I felt like I was just living in this like cloud of doom. And not to
Mm.
mention I was drinking and smoking weed and
Yeah.
whatever else at the time. So I went in for a normal doctor's appointment, and then I had asked the doctors out there in Montana. I saw two different doctors just for second opinions and stuff, saying, hey, I didn't really understand. I was still young, I'm like 19 years old at the time,
Yeah.
maybe,
Yeah.
maybe 18, and asked the doctors, what, this is how I'm feeling, and this is how I've
Yeah.
felt for a really long time. I've never really opened up to anybody about this. This is a little bit about my journey and what I feel and some of the flashbacks that I experience. What can you tell me based on your, medical
Yeah. Well,
experience?
diagnosis,
And
whatever.
both doctors at different times told me, they had me answer a few questions, of course, and they both told me, like, you suffer from clinical depression, and you suffer from, really bad PTSD. And I always thought of something like PTSD as being like, okay, that's something that people who've gone to war and stuff like
Yeah.
that experience. You don't think of like being a 19-year-old woman who's experienced certain things at a young age to being diagnosed with something
Have
like
that
that.
trauma. Yeah.
Right. You just thought, oh, it's something horrible that happened to me, life goes on.
Yeah.
But since then, I had added psychology onto my minor. I was a business major, psychology minor, and just really wanted to learn more about the brain, not only my own, but other people's, and give myself a chance to add a second wind and a way to better communicate with others and, make a better life for myself.
Yeah, well, I'm glad I have you on here so you could say that.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'm sure a couple other people appreciate it.